Welcome everyone back to my Yosenju deck build. I hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, click that like button, subscribe, and enjoy this 1080p video. Let's just jump right into it. 3,3s, these are your main cards that you, technically, what all you do with these is bounce. You can bounce a face-up card on your opponent's end of the field. If you have another one, another Yosenju on the field, this includes another common one, but you wouldn't be able to do that if it was just one, if you had two of these in your hand. You would bounce something on your opponent's side of the field, and it goes right back to their hand or extra deck. 3,2s, these are your attack directly cards for half. You attack directly, and your opponent takes half damage of the attack points of comma 2, and that goes great well with comma 3, which if any Yosenju monster does damage to your opponent, you get to search out a Yosenju card that includes Shinshu, Secret Move, but the only thing you can't find search out is your spell cards, which would be Training Grounds, Whirlwind, and I believe that's it. I think that's the only 2 spell cards. You can't search those out. Anyways, L. These are your protectors. Most of the time you'd use these for Secret Move. This is what I use it for. I use it for Secret Move when I have no monsters on the field for my opponent's turn. And if you would summon it with your Yosenjus in defense, it would first be normal and then defense mode. Your opponent cannot target Yosenju monsters for effects except for this guy. That's quite useful if you get Phoenix Chained, or anything that would target your monsters for like Dimensional Prison or anything else that would target something. You guys would get the idea. It does nothing to it. 2 Honest, which would be your Tsujiks. You either can ditch it from your hand, and during your attack phase, if you would attack with a Yosenju monster, you can discard this from your hand, and it gains 1,000 attack, and that's it. But if it's on the field, you can target any Yosenju monster, including itself, to gain 1,000, and that is the monsters. And then up for the spells, you have 3 training. I have 3 training grounds. These are your searchers and boosters. You can gain 300 for 1 token on it, and you can search. And for 3 tokens, you can search out a Yosenju card from your deck or graveyard, which for some Dev Pro or Waigo Pro doesn't do that for some reason. I don't know why. It just doesn't do it for me on the Waigo Pro, but it clearly states it from grave as well. Triple 10 keys, these are your searchers as well as your boosters. You gain 100 attack for each beast, for your beast warriors, and you can search out a beast warrior from your deck, which is quite useful as well. And your staples, 3 MSTs comes in handy. Every time I need them, they always show up. And you know, no explanation there, just destroy set, spell, card, or face up, or any spell or trap card. Double pot of dualities. My card fell. I was gonna run 3 of them, but I was like, yeah, it's too cloggy. But every time I do get it, I always get some good out of it. But after uses, you cannot special summon, which you would never need to do in this deck, because all you ever do is normal summon. Double Dark Hole. The reason I don't have Raigeki in this is because you don't need it. Basically, these are your Raigekis because you never have monsters. Just destroy your opponent's monsters and nothing happens to your monsters. Terraforming and Necro Valley. Actually, just dropped this card. Necro Valley, your opponent and yourself cannot use the graveyard by banishing or removing it from play, just like taking it out, or just if your monsters are in the graveyard or any card in the graveyard, they're stuck there unless it's their own effect. So Dark Worlds is the only thing that can almost get around Necro Valley, and some other monsters. I don't know. Terraforming, just search it out, and yeah, and that's your spell cards. And on to the trap cards. Triple secret moves. These are your negates, negate destructions. Basically, you would negate an effect, or when a spell, trap, or monster effect would be activated. You can chain this alongside, as long as you have another Yosenju card on the field. That would mean you can have Shinshu in the Pendulum Zone, and then you can activate this, and you would get the effect negated for this. You would negate it and then destroy it. You can also search this out with Training Grounds when it's in the graveyard, so recycling works well with this as well. Solemn Warning, staple, there's no explanation there. Macrocosmos for anything that works in the graveyard, and the combo that I always use is Vanity Macro, or Vanity Chaos is what I call it, because Vanity can't get rid of unless you get rid of Macro first, then both of them are gone. If you just get rid of Vanity, Macro is still your biggest issue if you're a Burning Abyss player, or a Cosmo players wouldn't really matter about this. It would be Impure on wall that would be really thinking like, oh god, I can't do anything now. But Macro and Vanity, it still doesn't help any decks. It helps mine more out than anything else. Those are also quite staples for this deck. Dimensional Prison as well as a staple. You know, just banish a card, banish the monster that attacks. Bottomless, also a staple as well. Torrential Tribute, since you never summon monsters, this doesn't really affect you all that much. So, during your turn, you would never activate this, but unless you had a Shinshu and you didn't have that set that turn. Just, I don't know, some way around it, you can still use it. Compulse, of course, is at 1, but you still have 3 compulsors, which are your common ones, but just in case, like, you know, you don't have your combo ones or just something you need to get rid of quickly. Mirror Force, you know, quite staples. There's no real explanation for it. Just goodbye monsters. And onto the extra deck, which is actually really small, unfortunately. 2 Cowboys. These are your game finishers. You deal pretty much 1600 attack. Effect damage when you have them both on the field. That's how I usually go for game. Tiger King, this is as well as your searcher. You put a Tenki on the field, activate it, search out a card, and he's a really huge beat stick. And as well, if your opponent has a bunch of monsters using effects, like Exceeds or XYZ monsters, you just detach one, and those effects are negated till their end of their turn, next turn, or the end of the turn that this is activated. Abyss Dweller for mostly graveyard effects, like BAs, or anything that involves graveyards as well. Necros as well for those. Utopia, this is just a card I laying around just to be in there. I never use it, but it's just in here, you know, just in case for attacks. And he's quite a small beat stick. And we're going to go on to my side deck, which is also a little bit small and for certain situations. Light and Dark Imprisoning Mirrors, mostly for Shadow. This is for Shadow. This is for mostly Tellarknights. Anything that really is these 2 based, which there's a lot of decks on those. You know, just those. Magical Cylinder. This is for those OTK decks that always bring out like 8,000 plus monsters. I'm like, yeah, kill yourself for those. Trap Hole. This is just, I don't know, I just have it in here. Don't ask. It's just in there. Ojama Trio. This is for a lot of tributing decks. Not so much for Monarchs, but mostly for Cleese if they are running Tower Turbo. Mostly Sequilifies and how they get it out the first time. I don't know, it all depends on the player. Ojama Trio, if I get it first draw, I want to set that immediately because Cleese are dangerous when it comes to their tributes, and when they only have 2 monsters, they cannot summon out towers unless they have Sequilifice. And if they activate Sequilifice, I will mostly have Secret Move already set to destroy that. And last, Dark Mirror Force and Trap Stun. Dark Mirror Force is for those Yang Zings or Baby Raccoons. Trap Stun is for those trap only based decks or trap based BAs, or just something that I just need to get rid of quickly. So that is my Yosenju deck build. I hope you guys do enjoy the video, and leave a like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you guys are thoughts on this deck build, and how more kind of professional base with this playmat, and new sleeves I have. And I might pull up a video of locals that I'm going to be going to soon, hopefully next weekend, because I couldn't go this weekend. But if you guys do want to see that, make sure you like that video, comment, I don't know, just do whatever you want, and I'll see if I can get any Android Wigo Pro videos up. If I do, then you guys will see it firsthand. So, peace out, guys. Enjoy. See you guys next time on the next deck profile.